Hey everyone, it's the one and only magnificent bird, Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, I am back with another spoiler review, and this spoiler review is going to be the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 3, Episode 5, titled Limbo. And I will say, this episode took a interesting direction that I didn't think that they were going to go in. I didn't think the direction that they took in tonight's episode, I didn't think they were going to go to. But you know what? Honestly, I don't mind that because it gives us two more episodes plus season 4 to the main objective, the main plot, right? And yeah, what you see there, all aboard the Walker train. Yeah, that was a pretty big part of the episode, which we will definitely get into. And before we get started, I hope all of you are doing good and staying safe out there. And like always, if you like the video, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below. And if you aren't subscribed already, feel free to hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. Turn on all notifications so you know the second I upload to YouTube. And if you want to share the video, that would be great too. And if you do any of those things, that would be very much appreciated. So as I am doing this spoiler review right now, it is after 11 o'clock and the last 2 minutes of the Patriots and Buffalo game is happening right now. But by the time you guys get this video, the game will already conclude. So, you guys might be finding out, or I'm sure you guys that follow the NFL will already know. But yeah, so you might get my genuine reaction if I'm choosing to pay attention. The game right now is tied 20-20. So yeah. Anyway, all right, let's get into this spoiler review. So if you don't want to know anything, or if you're not caught up, this is the perfect time to go ahead and leave the video, go watch the episode, and then come back if you would like to. But if you are caught up and you want to hear my thoughts on it, or if you just don't give a damn about spoilers and you want to stick around, that's cool too. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So I don't have many notes, so here we go. Daryl takes it upon himself to rescue Justina from El Khazar, but a village of leapers in desperate need of water postpones his mission. Meanwhile, Carol and Antonio bring Roberto home, hoping to convince Uncle F that all is well. But will someone else spill the beans? Will someone else snitch? I don't know. Let's find out. So, the episode starts with Daryl and Carol and Antonio still on the road looking for Roberto, and they do find Roberto, and he's hanging, like, not by the neck, no. El Khazar's, two of their people have him tied to a rope by his body, and they're planning on feeding him to the walkers as they beat the shit out of him. And while Daryl, Carol, and Antonio, he's lucky that they found him, because otherwise he was about to be walker food in the episode right from the start. So we do get a little bit more information. So yeah, Alberto is left for dead, about to be dropped into a horde of walkers by the two El Khazar's men. That's when Daryl, Carol, and Antonio rescue him. Before Roberto passes out, he confesses. We get a little bit of information. He confesses to almost succeeding in rescuing Justina, because Roberto actually was able to get to Justina, and they got in the car and they were leaving. This is revealed. But El Khazar realized that Justina was missing, and El Khazar crashes into the vehicle, and that's we get a better understanding of, yeah, they didn't get away, but they almost got away. That really fucking sucks, but it is what it is, right? So now that Roberto has been found, Daryl wants to get back to worrying about getting the hell out of there, getting back to America, getting back to Ohio, But Carol wants to save Justintina because Carol says to Daryl that, I do feel a little bit responsible for this because, like, look what they did for, saving me. Look what they've gotten themselves into since. So she feels a little bit of guilt for Justina being taken, right? So, yeah, Carol wants to save Justina, and then they learn that El Khazar's men are on their way to Barcelona. So Daryl is going to be having a solo mission going toward Barcelona. So, yeah, Daryl decides to take it upon himself to try to rescue Justintina, leaving Antonio and Carol to bring Roberto home back in the village. Justina's grandmother will, of course, tend to Roberto because she's got medicines and herbs and all of that stuff to hopefully, make sure he's okay. I'm sure he probably will be. So, okay. Sorry, I was distracted looking at the TV. Okay. Anyway, Carol and Antonio stick to the story that Roberto was attacked by another group, leaving out any mention of Justina and El Khazar's men. When asked about Daryl's whereabouts, they lie again. Well, Carol pacifically lies and says that he'll be staying at the boat overnight. Damn, they're hitting a 52-yard field goal. Anyway, okay. Wow, the Patriots make the field goal to be up 23-20, 15 seconds left. Anyway, I'm getting distracted here. I'm just like, obviously you can't hear the audio. I got it on mute for a good reason. But anyway, let's get back to it. So Carol lies about Daryl's whereabouts, saying, oh, he's going to be staying at the boat instead of, like, oh yeah, actually he's going to Barcelona. I mean, she's not gonna rat her friend out. You know what I mean? They're like fucking this. They're like two peas in a pod. They always will be. So yeah, this is a majority solo Daryl episode, which I don't mind. I honestly love that because it's mostly about Daryl. We get sprinkles of Carol and Antonio and the village in the episode, but the majority of it does go to Daryl. So the bulk of the episode is a Daryl side quest as he travels on a motorcycle through the desert. He encounters a man asking for water, which at first I thought that was a walker because the guy started speaking, he's like saying all this weird shit, like very creepy. I'm like, Daryl, I know you want to try to be semi good, but like I don't know about this. It's okay to leave some people to fend for themselves in the apocalypse, especially this guy, because this guy's eyes have been fucking removed, so he can't see nothing. So honestly, I mean, it's like a moral thing, but like, what can a guy realistically do if you keep riding by? I don't know, but Daryl stops and gives him some water. And the guy is like spouting this crazy shit. He provides a nefarious warning, and the warning that the guy with no eyeballs is talking about turns out to involve a slow-moving train through the use of walkers. Yes, so that's a thing that happens. So this kind of reminded me kind of like Mad Max vibes. That's kind of what I got from this episode a little bit. I've seen, which Mad Max was it? I think it was Mad Max Fury Road, and coincidentally enough, you got this desert vibe, you got these like walkers like leading this train, and you got this guy playing a guitar, and then this group of people that Daryl ends up running into, guess what? They are in desperate need. Holy shit, the Patriots just won. Ha ha, take that, you bums. Anyway, sorry, we can now focus back on this. Okay. Alright, so these people that Daryl runs into, guess what? They just happen to be in desperate need of water, and that's the same exact plot as Mad Max Fury Road. But the thing about that is, I didn't like that movie because that was the whole movie. And this, I didn't like. I kind of was like, damn, this kind of reminds me of Mad Max a little bit, but I didn't mind it here because this is a character I know and I've known for years and have followed for years. So I didn't like, you know what? Tons of shit copy one another. So, like, that's nothing original. But anyway, that's what that kind of reminded me of. So, okay, so yeah, we get to see the guy in charge of the train. I don't they never said his name, but he's in this bathtub, he's smoking like a cigar or something, and he's enjoying himself, and then what do you know? This woman pops up from underneath the water. She was just a slobbing and a bobbing down there. She was giving him probably the best time of his life, and he was enjoying that, and she definitely was enjoying that shit. Anyway, like, okay, so plus the guy, he's got a pet. Wait a minute. I thought it was an iguana at first, but apparently it's a Camino dragon. So, you know what? Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense because the Camino dragon was a little bit. I don't know, though. Like, I was thinking of those Camino dragons from Skyfall. It was closer to an iguana, unless it was a baby Camino dragon. I don't know, but he was still pretty big. So it's potato, potato, anyway, it's a freaking reptile either way, right? So, okay, so this slow moving train through the use of walkers, controlled by a man who's on a horseback singing, and he's singing and playing a guitar to keep him moving, and by this man, this mistress that was, slobbing and bobbing in the bathtub, and their admiration for drugs. Yeah, I thought it was cigars, but yeah, they probably got some of that too, because he has a bowl of eyeballs for his pet iguana or whatever that he's got. So they see Daryl at a distance with that bike, and then he orders the guy in the bathtub, he orders his men to take the motorcycle and Daryl for food for his iguana, Camino dragon, whatever you want to call it. Daryl evades the bad guys, but he ends up losing the bike, and also his belongings. So yeah, so they end up taking the bike, but hope is not lost as a group of people suffering from lepsary. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Anyway, these people that he comes across, they got all these god awful bumps all over their face, and obviously it's some kind of disease because I thought it was just like this one guy Mateo from the group. I was like, okay, this is he's obviously got something funky going on, and I only thought it was him at first, but no. Daryl goes back with them, and their whole community has all of these bumps. Some of them, it's not, some of the people, it's not quite so bad with the huge bumps, but then some of the others, it's like they look like mutated monsters. It's like, ugh, it's real bad. Mateo is one of the worst ones as far as like how his appearance looks. So the small community lives alone in the remains of a village in the mountains, surviving on little food and water. Daryl learns from the one woman who is not a leper that a group of men from a train stole their water. So that's where that Mad Max Fury Road plot comes back into play. There you go. Which I think this episode was significantly better than that whole movie. And hell yeah, I can't wait to brag about that score, 23-20. Ooh, 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 ooh! I can't wait to brag to just random people to piss them off because they think Buffalo is so much better. Anyway, okay, let's get back on track. All right. Now I'm a little bit more happier. Hell yeah. Okay. So Daryl learns from the one woman who is not a leper that a group, of men from that same train, the lepers saved Daryl in the hopes that he could return their water, because when he first gets there, he's like, water, I need water. He's like a heroin addict in that scene, and I just thought that was funny. Oh god, I thought that was funny as hell. Obviously, it was just water, but the way he's like, more and more and more. Once he gets one hit, he can't stop. He can't stop himself. Damn. Anyway. Okay, so in exchange for his efforts, they offered him one of their vehicles, and after spending the night there, realizing how much the people are suffering, including children and babies, and like you got to think everybody except this woman, she doesn't have any of the bumps on her, and that wasn't really. I don't think that was explained. Maybe she had joined later on. I'm not really sure, or maybe she. I don't know. She's the fucking leader, and I don't even know her name, so I'll just say I'll just call her the lady with no bumps. Like they didn't give her name, so I don't know what else to call her. So we won't see them again anyway. But anyway, okay. So once Daryl realizes how much they are suffering, he is like kind of thinking about it. He's teetering, but once he sees that a mother with her child is suffering, that everybody's just suffering, he decides, I'll go ahead and do it. He decides to help and start by, and he's like telling the people that y'all got to fight back. So yeah, so now the he starts by teaching them how to fight back. The plan unfolds as expected, with Daryl leading a group of the bad guys on motorcycles because he gets in a car, but then the lady with no bumps, she's like, I don't know, is he gonna help us? But then Mateo is like, he believes that Daryl, he'll help us, but then like Mateo, I think they do a good job at, Daryl's gone for a little bit, but what he's doing, he's going out there to look for those guys that stole his bike and the people's water. And Mateo starts to self doubt himself. He's like, well, maybe you were right, but then that's when Daryl comes back to lead them, because they got all these traps set for the guys on the motorcycle. So yeah, the plan unfolds as expected, with Daryl leading a group of the bad guys on motorcycles into the village, where they are all killed, and then it's up to Daryl to take out the train. So yeah, they lead them into the town, the little remnants of the town, and so yeah, they have these wires and ropes that they pull, waiting for the motorcycles to come across, and it knocks them off, and Daryl just pretty much takes them out one by one. It's only like 4 of them, but yeah, oh yeah, Daryl, shit, he can handle it. Ain't no problem. So now Daryl, he gets to the train, and he ends up, long story short, Daryl kills all of the bad guys on board and returns the water to the village. Now, and yeah, Daryl gets their water back like he promised, and yeah, so the guy with the iguana, Camino dragon, whatever, he ends up drowning him in his very own bathtub. Which, by the way, I don't know if that's supposed to be like a bathtub or like a cheap ass pool. I don't know, but I mean, it is a bathtub, but I'm guessing he's just using it as like a pool or like a jacuzzi or some shit. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, because you got one end, Daryl and the guy are fighting each other, but then you got one end, walkers are pouring in, and then the other end, where Daryl's at, you got walkers coming in, and they're like, oh shit, we gotta stop fighting. We were gonna just try to kill each other, but let's get to that after we kill the walkers. And when Daryl sneaks up on the train, he pulls this chain that has all of the walkers connected to the train, and it stops the train, obviously, and that's when the guy with the guitar keeps on playing, and he doesn't even fucking notice this, and they devour him. And good news, the horse that he was riding gets away. So like, yeah, you can eat the guy, just let the horse live. So yeah, so now we're gonna get back to, so once Daryl has all of that taken care of, so he leaves all of them, and he leaves to go off to Barcelona. So that's pretty much all we get for Daryl on this episode. So now we're gonna get back to Uncle F's village, the village. So now Carol and this is right, the horny lady, Valentina. So Valentina and a couple of her people go to the village because they want to check on Roberto. So after Valentina checks on Roberto, who's still out from earlier, Carol and Valentina have a conversation. So Carol and Valentina have a conversation while Valentina visits Roberto later, while Carol tries to convince Antonio. So, by the way, before we get to that, Carol says to Valentina, she's like, I don't mean this personally or in a mean way, but has anyone ever told you you are a horny old lady? And Valentina smiles like, hell yeah, I am. She's got no shame in it. She wears it on her sleeve like a badge of honor. You know what? I I have to respect her game, and hey, if she wants to be a horny old lady, I say let her be. I fuck it. Like she's not ashamed of it, obviously. So, and Valentina doesn't disagree. She's just shaking her head, like, yeah, yeah, I am. You damn right. She's just shaking her head, just to smile, and like, yeah, you damn right, I am. There, I don't have no shame in it whatsoever. I thought that was a funny moment. Like she wears it like a badge of honor. Cool, cool for her. So after that, Carol is with Antonio and she tries to convince Antonio to go with them to America. And Justin Tina's grandmother, who happens to be checking up on Roberto, she finds the compass necklace in Roberto's hands, the same compass necklace that was Justin Tina's. I was like, oh shit, this is not going to be good because what do you think she's going to go do? She's gonna go fucking rat. She's gonna go snitch to Uncle F. Well, they're not exactly telling the truth about where they were. Damn, like, old lady, like, you are nosy as fuck. You know what? I would rather take the horny old lady than a nosy old hag any day of the week. At least, they're not sure. Like, you can probably rely on the horny old lady to keep a secret or two. So, wow. Today is a pretty good day, but I just gotta say, damn. So we got no more undefeated left in the NFL. The Eagles lost their first game, and those Buffalo bums who will never win a Super Bowl, they lost their first game today. Anyway, okay. So yeah, Justin Tina's grandmother finds that compass necklace, and she delivers it to her son, Uncle F, believing Roberto had gone after Justin Tina. Although Uncle F dismisses her accusation, Uncle F asks one of his men to check and see if Daryl is on that beach. So, oh no, this is not that's not good. That's not good at all. That's not good at all for Daryl, especially Carol and Antonio. And Roberto, oh great, because some old nosy hag had to stick her nose into something that, like, come on, could you have just shut your mouth? Just, that's all you had to do. Just keep it to yourself. But I guess they got to create some kind of drama to just keep that drama going. So yeah, so that's pretty much how the episode ends. And I don't know, it depends. Like, some people might really like this episode. Some people might really think, was this episode necessary because of the detour? You know what? I didn't mind it. I don't know if episode 5 is my favorite episode, but out of the episodes so far, I'm absolutely going to do a ranking when we get to the season finale of this season. So I would say right now, episode 5 is probably the second best episode. I still got to give that crown to episode 4. But right now, yeah, I would say episode 4 and episode 5 are the two best episodes so far. So I'm just trying to look here to see if I got anything else that I want to exactly talk about. I mean, Daryl, he's a badass with that rifle, man. He took out those 4 guys and all the people on the train with pretty much no issues. Yeah, and then the what's her name, Valentina, the horny lady that, she knows what she wants and she doesn't have no shame in it. And I like how Carol called her out and she wasn't mad. She's like, yeah, hell yeah, I am. So so what? I'm wearing that as a badge of honor. She's like, well, who knows how much time I got left in the apocalypse, so let me at least have a happy ending when I go. Like, that's her thinking. So I don't have a problem with it. It is what it is. So and plus, I just got one more thing to say. I don't think I got anything else to say about the episode, other than I am looking forward to see what happens next week and the week after, which I believe next week, not this, but the week after next week will be the season finale. I'll give y'all a proper ranking then. And I just got this last little thing to say. Yes, the New England Patriots handed the Buffalo Bums their first loss. Buffalo, they are a bunch of bums who lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but when it comes to something like this, I don't mind being a broken record. Hell yeah. I don't know, Buffalo, is y'all's AFC East crown as secure anymore? I mean, it might still be, but you know what? I'm just going to enjoy this moment. So, yeah, I can't wait to see, like, oh, what's this? I can't wait to troll others, like, what was this about Buffalo being better than New England? Like, where's that energy at now? I love it. I love it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go so I can get this edited and get this out by Monday. And, yeah. So that's all for this video. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and for your continued support. And if you're new, welcome on in for the very first time. Like I said, I thank each and every one of you for stopping on by. And if you're new, thank you for your support. And I'm glad to have your time. I am Beak, and I'm going to go fly away back to my nest. Until next time. Bye, guys.